Welcome to the Raider Critique. Now, I'm pretty sure most of us were actually all wrapped up in Mikey's video before it went off stream. So I'm hoping that this doesn't do the same thing. Also, hoping that you guys are enjoying the new sound. I did get the microphone set up. Went and bought myself an interface to where it makes myself sound a little bit better here. But let's there's only one person here right now, but I did want to go over a few things when it came to Khalil Mack's contract. I'm going to spout off a few things, and hopefully we can get a few more people in here, and maybe we can have a discussion about it. So anyway, he signed a 4-year deal, and we're taking on his 5th year, but I believe his 4th year deal was for $18,676,999. He had a signing bonus of $11,903, $11,903,250. So I mean, Jesus Christ, man, this guy is making a shit ton of money. His base salary is 13.9, basically 13.8 with no signing bonus. That's for this year, and he's asking for $22 million. So I think he deserves the $22 million. I can't be the only one who feels this way, but the Raiders just don't have the money to be able to do this type of contract, especially with Derek Carr being one of the highest paid. Absolutely. Derek Carr being one of the highest paid, man, at $20 million. Then you have Donald Penn, who's soaking up a bunch of money. And I mean, it might not be very much, but you also have Seth Roberts soaking up a bunch of money. It's kind of hard to even think about signing Khalil Mack to a long-term deal right now, especially when our salary cap is in the dumps. Man, I really wish Murph and Mike could have kept going because, Murph was breaking it down before it broke apart. But I'm going to spit off some numbers here, man, about what Khalil Mack has done and why we all believe that he should have the highest payday of any player in the NFL right now. In 2014, he had 4 sacks with 59 tackles, 3 passes deflected. In 2015, he had 15 sacks. Now you see the gap there. 15 sacks, 57 tackles, 2 passes deflected, no interceptions. 2016, man, 11 sacks, 54 tackles, 3 pass deflected, and 1 pick. As a matter of fact, that pick was excellent because he jumped right off the line and, it was beautiful. You just don't see reaction time like that out of a defensive end counter/slash linebacker. And then last year, he had 10.5 sacks with 61 tackles, 3 passes deflected. In all honesty, where's the money? Do we have the money to pay him? No. Yeah, don't forget forced fumbles. And yeah, I don't have those written down, man. But from what I could tell, last year he had 1 forced fumble as well. And dude, he terrorizes the hell out of quarterbacks. He literally does. Think about what we have with the defense now. We've actually got a good defensive style team. We've got real big dudes up front, Tank Carradine, the new rookies that we've got going on up there with old PJ Hall. Oh, no. It's buffering. Awesome, I'm back. All right, cool. So where did I leave off? Basically about how we were dumping all the money into the stadium and how we had to borrow a shit ton of money from the NFL because if we didn't borrow that money from the NFL, we weren't getting a new stadium and we were going to get stonewalled into Oakland, probably having to rent out the Coliseum again, which, to be honest with you, I think we should have built a stadium in Oakland We shouldn't have moved to Vegas. But then again, when California's falling apart the way it is, nobody wants to be there. So, I mean, we don't have the money to pay Mac. Now, if we can actually hold off and pay him next year, he's still under contract. He should play this year out anyway. We do have the cap room next year. You know? I mean, it sucks that dude, he's one of the best defenders, if not the best defender in the game right now. And we can't afford to pay him because we've done borrowed a shit ton of money from the NFL, and old fucking Mark Davis with his old bowl cut over there, fucking eating his goddamn popcorn, saying, fuck everybody else, we're going to Vegas. You know, well, what about the players' contracts? You know? If structured correctly, yes. But, okay, now, Donald Penn, Seth Roberts, Reggie Nelson. All right. Two of these players we really can't do anything about. Well, I mean, we could knock off Reggie Nelson, I believe. He doesn't, as far as I'm concerned, man, he's overpaid anyway. I don't really know the contract details of Reggie Nelson, but I know that he would be one of the first ones I'd want to let go and try to free up some money. Now, I would want to do the same thing with Seth Roberts, except for we take a pay cut. And hopefully he does, you know, and that is take a pay cut, you know. And that's a good point, Chris. That's a good point, because we could trade Donald Penn, you know, and trading Donald back, you know, and trading Donald Penn probably wouldn't be a bad idea. You know, we'd get rid of his dead money. We'd get all that money back, I believe. So it really does suck, man. Because we don't have the money to pay him, and unless we start making these moves, we're stuck. But there is one good thing, though. Look at this defense. This defense is raw. I mean, I know it's early to tell, but, you know, on paper it looks great. And that first preseason game, man, they surprised me. They really did surprise me. Well, Aaron, now what did he sign for? Has he signed yet? Because as soon as he signs, that's what's going to set the bar on how much Khalil Mack's going to get, and he wants $22 million. You know, that's more than Von Miller. You know, for somebody who's putting up those kind of numbers and as young as he is, you know, I think right now we've got him at a steal at $18,676,999. You know, we've got him at a steal, and we know we've got him at a steal. You know, and they're going to try to ride with it just because Oakland's trying to pinch that dollar. They're trying to pinch that dollar, and they're trying to see how much money we're going to make on ticket sales and sponsors, you know, and they're going to sit on their hands, and we're not going to have this dude for all of preseason, which is going to actually hurt us. When he comes back, he's not going to be familiar with the scheme, although I'm really, with the way they talk about him and his football knowledge and how he's got Hall of Fame written all over him, he shouldn't have any problem fitting in here, regardless on what scheme they use. You know? So it'd be a lot better to have him back, because if we had him back, we would dominate. We're going to dominate already. At least that's my opinion. But, you know, my questions was with the secondary, and I think secondary has finally answered my question, and I'm not going to rag on them too much, you know. But when it does come down to it, if they fuck up, you know I'm going to be here to rag on them. Straight up, man. But I'm pretty sure they are waiting on each other. But, I mean, they're $814,000 a game? You're playing one quarter, bro. Yeah, maybe one quarter, one series. $814,000. Put me in the fucking game for $814,000 for one series. Please. Please. you know, I, I mean, what he ought to do is bitch and complain about it, but come to work. You know, and it's nothing against Mr. Mack at all, but it's he knows his worth, and he's not gonna budge until the Raiders give him what he wants. And with these numbers, he's gonna get what he wants, whether he's released or whether he's traded or whether we give him the money. I'm just hoping that we just will line up a lot of things here. We need to cut a lot of this dead money on our roster. There's a lot of good guys out there. I mean, it's just one series, but I mean, we got a lot of good guys on our team that can take his place. You know, now are they Khalil Mack? No, I don't think there's going to be another Khalil Mack, man. For give it about a decade. You know, we always get those at least one player like that per decade, and lately it's been like 3 or 4. So $30K a day he missed. No, he's getting fined $814,000 a game every time he doesn't play. And that I know for sure. $814,000 for missing preseason games. Go look it up. It's kind of fucked up that it's that much. But I mean, even 30K. I mean, you're a football player. You're not going to get. I mean, we could easily trade him. I mean, basically the ball is in his court. It's just whenever he wants to start playing. So, I mean, what can we do except for cut dead weight to give the man his money? Yes, he goes unrestricted next year. He sure does. He's an unrestricted free agent next year. So if we need to come up with the money, but what I don't understand is I thought he agreed. I thought he agreed to this 18 million with the almost 12 million signing bonus, but I guess he wants more. I guess that was just to finish out his contract with us. But as far as I'm concerned, that money, he needs to play for his contract and then just go ahead and either play your contract and get out, or if we can't afford him, or take it, he's not going to take a pay cut. It's just not going to happen. That's the way. I mean, that's the way I see it. I think he's either one, we somehow pull the money out of our asses this season and pay him and get rid of some dead weight, or we lose him, or we tag him. Now we could tag him. We could tag the shit out of him, dude. We could tag him for 2 years. We could tag him this year, and I believe we could also tag him next year, couldn't we? Because this is his 4th year out of his 5th year tender. We're supposed to offer him a contract on his 5th year, right? Well, what sucks about that is he just doesn't get the time with the team. He's not going to get the time with the team, and we need him there. The team needs him. It's not like he's in dire need, but it would feel that much better just to have him there, especially since he's been the only solid thing on our defense for the past 4 years. Other than that, we've had wash-ups like David Amerson, Sean Smith, who, by the way, used to take up a shit ton of money. We still got Reggie Nelson on the team. I don't understand why. Obi can't stand. He can't stay healthy. Gary and Conley. Oh, well, that's news today. Supposedly, Gary and Conley is back at training camp, and he made a fast recovery, and he's good to go. So we'll see how he does. We'll see if he gets hurt again. See, that's what I don't understand either, man. If I don't understand why they'd want to piss him off either, because he can just walk. He can just walk and be like, fuck you. Peace. And our luck, he'll wind up going somewhere like Kansas City, San Diego, oh, my bad, Los Angeles, or Denver. Could you imagine? Well, but we're going to have to do what we're going to have to do before we can get somebody in there that can actually talk sense to him. I think we offer him $20 million and see if he takes it. You know? And in the meantime, ask Derek Carr to take a pay cut, ask Donald Penn to take a pay cut or walk. You know, Reggie Nelson, take a pay cut or walk. You know, I mean, definitely Seth Roberts. You know, any of these guys. Because these guys right here, as good as they might be, they're not Khalil Mack. And, I mean, come on, honestly, Derek Carr didn't play up to expectations last year to deserve that $20 million. And that's really sad for me to say because I was a firm backer of Derek Carr and the way he played. But ever since his injury, man, he has played different ever since his injury. I see a lot of balls getting lofted up in the air. He's not following through, you know, and I do believe that it has something to do with putting the pressure on your front foot, putting the pressure on your lead foot, because that's basically how you command the ball, you know. I'm hoping I'm wrong. I'm hoping I'm wrong, you know. Yeah. That I do believe he's going to help with is teaching that system, and that system is raw. Watts put up a video I think it was a couple days ago that was explaining the system, and man, that system is just watching it with Cincinnati and then watching it with us. It's completely different, and Cincinnati was dominant with it. We're going to wreck shop this year with that. He has completely turned this defense around, and it's only been one preseason game. You know? But I don't know, man. I'm not a real big firm backer of Reggie Nelson due to the depth that we already have at safety. You know? And yeah, well, fuck Dowling, dude. Dowling was a piece of shit who couldn't run nothing but a fucking screen pass and run plays up the middle. Fucking garbage. I hated that guy. Why'd you even have to bring him up? Yeah, fuck that guy and fuck his system. I don't give a shit about that dude. But it's purely evident that we're going to have a completely different looking defense this year, and a defense that's probably going to be within the top 15. If I'm looking at Gunther's defense, he starts off relatively in the middle in between 16th and 17th, and then he works his way up from there. You know, and the team always seems to do better, you know, as the season goes, you know, which hasn't been the case for us as of last season. So anyway, I mean, I don't know what we're gonna do about Mac. I can't wait for Mike and Murph on Tuesday to where he can break down all the numbers for us. But well, I do believe that Dowling had a hand in why Carr regressed. But also look at the way he throws the ball. I mean, like, to me, I'm critiquing his throwing motion, and it looks completely different than the way it looked back when he was MVP caliber back in 2016. You know what I mean? So he hasn't looked the same since the injury, in my eyes. He's not following through with his throws. That's why when he throws it deep, he gets a lot of air up underneath it. It's not like dude, he used to beeline that motherfucker down the damn field 60, 70 yards. He ain't doing that anymore. He's getting air right up underneath it. You know? I don't think Carr deserves $20 million. And the only reason why I don't believe he deserves $20 million is because, well, win a Super Bowl for us. Stay healthy all year, you know? And it's not like his numbers are bad, because his numbers aren't bad. But that's Aaron Rodgers style money. You know, Aaron Rodgers, with as lackluster as he's been lately, he still has a Super Bowl. You know, and that's another thing that we should actually point out too, is Max should be excited about this new defense. He should be excited about this new defense, and that would be the inspiration for me to come to practice. I would definitely go to practice knowing how beastly of a defense we have. And the coaching part, yeah, I mean, it's a lot. It does have a lot to do with coaching. All right. Both sides of the ball. Ken Norton wasn't a good defensive coordinator, and Todd Dowling was a terrible offensive coordinator. You know? And I understand why Carr was running scared. I'd have been running scared too with that blocking scheme last year. Especially having two rookies at right tackle? Yeah, and they're bouncing off back and forth, so nobody's really like getting any playing time. And when they do get playing time, you know, it's just they're still learning, which I don't even think either one of those guys are even here. You know? And that's another thing too, man. Like you see it when you watch the whole season break down. Everything fell apart after week 3. Right after all that political bullshit. Everything fell apart for us. The whole team fell apart. Nobody was getting along anymore. Everybody knew it. Hell, why do you guys think Mikey got harassed, dude? And I'm not saying that as in like I've got insight on something, but fucking put 2 and 2 together. Look at everything Mikey was talking about last year. Look at how many subscribers he had. You know what I mean? They wanted to fucking nip that shit real quick. You know? Because everything that fucking was going on last season. That's why I just believe fucking politics needs to be left out of football unless we're talking about new stadiums, player contracts, and fucking whatever else that has to do with football. You know? I just hope Mac will get the fire set up underneath him to want to come back to the team and join us for training camp. And maybe I can catch him on video. You know? It just sucks not having the guy, knowing that how much better our team would be with him there. Why don't they just pay this dude? Why don't they just get rid of some of the dead weight? Why don't we get rid of EJ Manuel? Like, EJ Manuel doesn't look like he's doing much of anything, and we can run a 2 quarterback system. We don't need 3, you know? And all them running backs we have. Why did we bring in Doug Martin? We have no use for a guy like Doug Martin, you know? I don't get the concepts of us spending all of this money when we knew Khalil Mack's contract was right around the corner. Unless